Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So tonight, let's talk about a few specific crypto projects, some altcoins that have been coming up slightly, but there's still a lot left on the table. Huge potential gains for these crypto projects, and I'm going to explain why. So let's get started. Welcome, guys. Hopefully you guys are having a fine night or day wherever you may be. Market came down slightly today, just slightly. You can see only 1.4%, and I'm going to explain why towards the end. But I want to jump right in and talk about some of these altcoins. Of course, a lot of these projects have been coming up ever since Bitcoin started rallying up from bottom, right? So a lot of good movement, but does that mean this is it? There's no more? No, that's not what it means. Even though some of these projects have gone up 20, 30, 40, 50, 100% within the last few weeks, there's still a lot left on the table. So today I'm going to go over some of them that I've talked about in the past. But again, for some of you guys that may not be aware, this will be informational, educational, and I may even play my very rare educational video at the end of this stream. All right, first of all, let's start with BNB. In fact, BNB has not done that well, but I know people are curious about it because BNB is Binance Coin. It's the coin from Binance, and it's sitting at $300. And if you look at it, this is what it looks like. The peak in 2021 to where it is now, right? It's down about 56%. 56%. Actually, if you compare that to most crypto projects out there, that's actually pretty darn good. And you'll see why in a little bit. So overall, it's down 56%, even though it has come up a little bit from its bottom. It was below 200 at one point, right? But it still has 126% to go just to get back to its previous high, right? Just to break even. So that's a huge amount, right? Huge amount. And let's not forget, when the bull run starts and we break through the previous highs, where could it go? It could go much higher than that. Much higher than that, right? But what's going on with BNB, though? What makes it attractive, besides the fact that it is the official coin from the biggest exchange there is? Well, if you look at daily on-chain activity, it's been very, very high. You can see yellow is the Binance chain, and then you look at red is Ethereum. Ethereum is held down simply because it can't process that many transactions right now. And then you look at Ethereum, right? In fact, Binance chain has been processing more on-chain activity, more volume than Ethereum for a long time, right? So this is the reason why a lot of dApps are looking to integrate or move to Binance Smart Chain because of this, because there's a whole lot of activity going on right now, including Uniswap. Uniswap wants to make a big move to push their V3 into Binance Smart Chain as well. So not only that, in terms of DeFi projects, out of the 2,400 major DeFi projects, most of them sit on Ethereum, but there's a large amount also on Binance Smart Chain. So they are number 2. So there's just a lot of stuff happening within Binance right now. Also, Binance does have burns. They implemented a burn a long time ago, but they changed it. Before, they were going by quarterly. Whatever the revenue or the profit that Binance made quarterly, they would take a percentage of that and burn the BNB that they held, right? But now they have made it so that it's just smart. It just does it automatically without waiting for quarterly. So that's happening as well. And there's also a set supply for BNB. It's not inflationary. The set supply and the overall burn will bring it down half. Okay, so there's that as well. So there's a lot of exciting things happening with BNB right now. It has been stagnant a little bit more so than some of the other projects out there, but compared to its previous high, it's also not down as much and it's still sitting in the top 5. And Binance is the largest exchange out there, so they're not going to go anywhere. So keep your eye on Binance. All right, next up, let's talk about Solana. Solana. So many people gave up on Solana, but it started to come back. It's still one of the big ones, the big L1s out there, right? So recently, it staged a comeback. It got as low as, I think it was like $9 or $8. It got really, really low, right? But despite the fact it has staged a comeback, it is still down 90% from its previous high. 90%. That means it has to go up 970% from its current level just to get back to its previous all-time high. Just think about that for a second, right? It basically has to go up 10x from here to get back to the previous high. So definitely a lot left on the table, right? So can they come back and maybe even shatter that when we go in the next bull run? Well, there's still a lot of stuff going on besides all the FTX FUD, right? I know that, but the number of transactions still processing every single day, very high. They are very fast chain. As of right now, they're processing over 3,000 transactions per second. Ethereum would love, they dream of processing 3,000 transactions per second. I think right now they're processing like 50 or 75, right? So there's still a very, very fast, scalable chain and processing a lot of transactions. It's not like the network just shut off, although they had their issues and they're still working on it. But you look at like their TVL, the DeFi ecosystem, not the biggest. So you look at this chart here on the very left side, you can see Ethereum is leading the liquidity, and then you have like Tron and Binance and all these other guys, right? Solana is towards the bottom, but it's not towards the bottom when you look at the volume, okay, the 24 and then 7-day volume versus the TVL. In fact, if you actually look at the ratio, you'll see that the volume per dollar of TVL is the highest of any chain, which means that even though there's not as many liquidity or not as many coins, right, within the DeFi ecosystem on Solana, but there's definitely a whole lot of people trading right now. And this could be because of their NFTs. They have a vast NFT ecosystem, so it could be due to that, right? Solana also, they're upgrading their NFTs. They want to make it even better. So within the next 60 days, they're going to make their NFTs. They're going to convert everything to a new standard and basically allow NFT to be more programmable. So they're definitely catering to their kind of like their core right now, which is NFTs. And also, let's not forget they're working on their dApp store. They do have a phone. I don't know how many people actually bought it. They have a store, they have a phone, but more importantly, they're working on their dApp store, and they're trying to grow that out as well. They're trying to make it, like the Apple iOS store or the Google Play Store. They want to make it for all dApps. So they're working on that as well. So a lot of stuff still happening on Solana. 10x. Looking forward to it for those of you guys that are still holding your bags. All right, next up, let's talk about Cardano. Everyone loves to either hate or love Cardano, right? It has this love and hate relationship with everyone in the space. It's in the top 10, right? It's a little stagnant, but it's staging a comeback recently. It had a little push because of one major project, and I'll get to that in a little bit, right? But Cardano, just like Solana, is down 87% from its previous high. 87%. 700% climb to get back to the previous high, right? So definitely a lot on the table. Think about it. That's like 7x or 8x, right? Going back to a previous high. So whatever you have now, multiple by 7, that's how much it will be when it gets back, right? But what's going on with Cardano? Why did it have like a recent push? Well, there's still a whole lot of people that believe in it. Okay, the number of addresses continue to go up. You could see 50,000 new wallet addresses. A lot of people still very excited. You also have the holders staying strong. Nearly 75% of all ADA is still staked in a pool. Very, very little of it is circulated, being traded. Most of it is being held and locked in within a pool. That's fantastic. You see right up here, it says it right here, right? So that's also good. But recently, we know that, hey, a lot of talk about DGED, which is the very first stablecoin coming to Cardano. Cardano does need a injection, a boost for its DeFi, right? And a lot of people are hoping that DGED will do that, and that should be coming out in the next few days. Okay, so that's coming. And also, let's not forget that Cardano is also coming out with another one called USDA, which should be coming soon too, because it was talked about being released in early 2023. This is by Emergo, one of the development firms that's supporting Cardano. So you're going to have multiple stable coins, and who knows, I'm pretty sure USDC will probably be integrated as well. So all the stable coins and interoperability between different chains will just bring more liquidity to Cardano and drive it higher. And let's not forget, there's a lot of upgrades happening as well, in addition to what's going on here. So pretty good, pretty good. Next up, let's talk about everyone's favorite, the people's currency, XRP. XRP, despite not moving, they're still one of the big boys, sitting at number 6, commanding a 20 billion market cap. What's going on with them? Well, first of all, they're down 87%, kind of like the other ones I just mentioned, right? But the thing is, it's a little bit worse for XRP because the previous high was back in 2018, not 2021. 2021, they did have a surge, but they didn't make a new all-time high in 2021. So XRP holders been feeling more pain than any other holder out there because they've been holding the longest, right? But what can we look forward to? Well, the XRP lawsuit with the SEC. Brad Garlinghouse is confident, optimistic that they will win their battle against the SEC, against Gary Gensler. Okay? A lot of back and forth. Ripple's been winning all these little battles. Basically, SEC is pinned to the corner now. They don't know what to do because the Hinman testimonies or tapes have been released to Ripple. And those tapes declare Ethereum is not a security, a commodity. And Ripple's going to use that for their defense. And I don't think Gary knows what to do, right? And many people think that Ripple will win. So if they do win, and this is supposed to be sometime in the first half of 2023, if this happens, I could see Ripple going on a tremendous run, maybe even back to its all-time high, but maybe not right away. It will definitely lift a ceiling because the ceiling it's a very heavy ceiling implemented by the SEC right now, basically, right? So there's that. But also, just a ton of XRP whales still accumulating, right? XRP Ledger is growing. You have Flare Network that just, came out, even though they were primarily a XRP Ledger play, but now they have gone and created their own L1, but they're still very integrated with the XRP community, right? They airdropped a whole bunch of Flare tokens to people. So they're still expanding use for the XRP Ledger. So anyways, I think the big thing is that SEC lawsuit. Is it going to be resolved soon? And if so, that could open the dam and XRP could rip. That's why I call it people's currency, because everyone loves XRP. All right, lastly, let's talk about everyone's favorite meme coin, Dogecoin, right? Still sitting pretty high up in the top 10, right? Kind of stagnant recently. We had a little bit, we had a little bit, a few little pumps here or there, right? And to put things in perspective, they're down 88%. 88%. So do you see a theme here? From Solana to Cardano to XRP to Doge, still all down close to 90% from its previous high. But why is that a good thing? Because we know we're not in a bull market. Okay, we're still recovery. But once we go to bull market, we will get back to the previous high. And we will not only do that, but break through it. So imagine whatever you're holding on right now, possibly multiplying by 8x, 10x, or more, right? So for those of you guys that's been DCAing, been accumulating while things have been low and cheap, just imagine when we enter the next bull run, how exciting that's going to be, right? So the best way to look at these charts is not to look at it glass half empty, but half full. What is coming up, right? And as for Doge, really, there's two things. There's two things. No, really, there's one thing. And that's Elon. And that's Tesla, right? So Tesla recently came out the quarterly, still says they own Bitcoin. They still hold it, but they don't hold Doge. But here's the thing, though. You can pay for things within the Tesla store using Doge. So there's some usage there. And as far as I know, I think the Dallas Mavericks still accepts Doge as well. I don't hear Mark Cuban talk a lot about Doge recently, but he was a big fan. But, you know, Elon, we know, is still a big fan, right? And it's just a matter of time. Things with Twitter are starting to settle down. I don't hear nearly as much FUD about Twitter anymore. And Elon himself is still active on it. He's talking with Davis Marcus all the time, right? And you know that they're talking behind the scenes about something. You know it's just going to happen, right? And if it does, we get some kind of crypto wallet integration, or we get Doge to be used for tipping or transactions maybe, right? Monetization that's being worked on, maybe that's going to be paid in Doge. Whatever the case may be, if there's some kind of integration, it will send Doge to the moon like all previous times before, right? So there's that. There's that. And I didn't bring this article, but they did recently create a small amount, and they created a treasury. So they're going to use that to kind of fund future developments. Though I haven't heard much about that, but there is also that as well, right? So those are the ones I want to cover today. A lot of you guys know about these coins. Some of you guys may not. There's a lot of stuff still happening, right? Some of these have pumped up a little bit. Some of these have not. But my point is this. Even though they have moved, there's still tremendous, tremendous upside left on the table, and you don't want to be missing that, all right? All right, that is what I want to lead with. Other than that, today, the market came down slightly. Not really, just slightly. It was a bit more exciting this morning when Bitcoin was above 23,000, but it's at 22.8, which is basically the same point as it was yesterday. And overall, crypto market cap is basically the same point as yesterday, right? So we just kind of lost what we gained this morning. Although some altcoins are still holding on their gains. But why did this happen? Well, some companies in the U.S. started reporting negatively, like Hasbro plans on cutting 15% of its workforce and warns of a weak holiday quarter. So obviously they're the biggest game maker out there. And if they're saying that, well, people are paying attention, a little afraid. Also in semiconductors, Intel revealed a horrible, horrible, horrible quarter. Okay, Intel really has no clue what's going on anymore. Right? They really don't. They're being overstepped by NVIDIA. Well, they already been overstepped by NVIDIA. NVIDIA's market share is like triple of Intel. And even by AMD. Once upon a time, Intel could have stepped on AMD like it was a bug. Now, I believe after tomorrow, AMD's market cap may be higher than Intel's once again. Intel just really does not know what's going on. But again, this didn't cause any excitement today. So a lot of people are still wondering if, if a recession is coming because some of these companies are having bad quarters. Maybe it's just due to mismanagement. Maybe just they didn't prepare well enough, right? I don't think this really changes anything. But of course, we got a big Powell speech next week, and we'll see what happens. And also, I saw this. This has nothing to do with us in the U.S., but I don't think it's a surprise. Toyota CEO and president, Akio Toyoda, not Toyota, Toyota, is stepping down. Okay? Why is he stepping down? They don't give official reason, but I think the reason is because Toyota has been very, 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 very slow transitioning to EV. They were the pioneers of hybrids, right? They popularized it, and they were definitely leading the EV space, okay? But for whatever reason, President Toyoda did not want to fully embrace EV, and then saw a rise of Tesla. They could have easily stepped on Tesla at any given time, and now Tesla is the largest EV manufacturer on earth, and every single manufacturer is working on coming out EV cars. Except Toyota has made no progress. Last year in 2021, he came out and said, we're working on 30 electric vehicles. A year later, how many are there? 0 still. So I think he was forced out, and whoever replaces them will probably make that transition and bring out a whole lot of EV vehicles. Just my opinion. My opinion. All right, that's pretty much it. Let's do some Q&A. Yeah, Toyota is the only company, I guess it was his vision, to go hydrogen. No other company on earth is focused on hydrogen cars. And Toyota, for whatever reason, kept trying to push it. It's not going to go anywhere, right? And they totally missed out on the EV train. They could have been the pioneers of plug-in hybrids, EV, fully electric vehicles, but no. I mean, it's not like Toyota is really struggling, but their transition is really slow and making a lot of investors kind of panicked at this point. All right, anyways, enough about Toyota. Let's do Q&A. Let's see. Let's see what I missed here. I'm going to pull this up. Ram Rider, hello. Twitch quality is way better, yes. I don't know why. Twitch somehow doesn't compress the streams, so it actually looks like HD on Twitch. YouTube is always like kind of fuzzy. YouTube has some kind of crazy compression algorithm. All right, what about Litecoin? No. Don't ask me about Litecoin. If it wasn't for AMD, we'd still be on 8-core, 14-nanometer chips, probably. AMD really pushed Intel for a while. And then everything started moving to mobile, and Intel just did not adopt at all. NVIDIA went full-on mobile, and that's why they are so huge now. AMD also did. And Intel is just kind of stuck in no man's land right now. All right, let's see here. Cardano, Phantom. Yes, I like both. Phantom, I covered Phantom yesterday. There's really no rhyme or reason why they started pumping up in a big way, but we'll take it, of course. The only thing is there's a conference going on in Miami right now, so maybe there's some excitement over that. But yeah, Phantom has been moving quite a lot. I'm glad to see it. And Android Coin coming back is definitely positive. Polygon started making moves today, right? Back above $1. That's what we want to see in the top 10 once again. So they're doing well today too. Yeah, so we got some good movers like Phantom up 17%, right? Good stuff. Never lived through a real bull run. Excited for 10x. I've lived through several bull runs, and they're always unbelievable. Okay, I'll tell you that from experience. I went through 3 bull runs. One I was not experienced with. The second one, more experienced, but still not experienced enough. And the third one, finally experienced, although not fully experienced. But my point is this. Things start moving up very quickly for no reason. They just do, and there's a lot of FOMO, a lot of buying, right? But this next bull run will be the most ferocious one, for sure, by far, because the fiat on-ramps, the on-ramps itself is way larger than ever before. The institutional adoption, institutional buying, right? That never really happened before. And it started in 2021, and it will only continue. So that is going to cause way more money to come in. Now we're seeing countries, states come in. We're seeing banks come in, right? The next bull run will be unlike anything we have ever seen. So 10x is just to get back to previous high. I'm not even talking about 10x to make a new high. 10x is just to get back to previous high. Imagine after that. A lot of altcoins could do a 10x after that. You do the math, what is that? That's like that's a lot. I don't even know what that comes out to be, but it's a lot. So I'm looking forward to it too. VThor, Sergio, I'm not a big fan of VThor. VeChain, I am a big fan of. VeChain is set, has a set supply. It's not inflationary. VThor is. VThor is the gas, basically, for VeChain. How safe, Patrick, how safe is it to stake my ETH via Ledger on Lido? Any risk? There's always a risk. I mean, Lido could be hacked. Lido could, I don't know, you know, whatever they provide you with synthetic ETH. I don't know if that's your main purpose is to get synthetic ETH. That could be depegged, so it's not one-to-one anymore. There's a lot of risks, right? So there could be some kind of vulnerability, some kind of manipulation. I mean, there's always something, right? The chances, I would say, small for those things, but there's still risk there. Do you still believe in Polkadot or is Cosmos a better? I've always believed in Cosmos more than Polkadot. So I'm just going to go with Polkadot, yeah. Think BTC could make it to 40K in 2 to 3 months. Well, there's a chance. There's a chance. Especially when we come off from bottom. We saw it before. We saw it in 2019. We saw a tremendous run up to the upside. and then we came back down, right? So if we do somehow hit like 40K in short order in like 2 months, it could happen because of FOMO, because there's so many people sitting on the sidelines waiting to enter, and they all do it, and we get pushed up, yes. But then if that happens, I think we're going to come back down. We're going to retrace back down to 30s or 20s after hitting 40K. Now, if we don't do that, we're just slow and steady upwards to 40K by the end of the year, then I don't think that's going to happen. But if we shoot up and then, like, say, in the next 2 months, yeah, I would say we'll go retrace. But to answer your question, can it happen? I say there's a chance. There's a chance. You know, we're not too far off from 30K. It seems like we're far off, but, you know, we're not that far off from 30K. We have seen pretty tremendous runs. If we break through 23 and we break through 24, we're pretty much back to 30K. There's really no resistance between 24K and 30K, right? And if we hit 30K in short order, right? Like if we just, you see here, there's like nothing here, right? Very little here. So this is right around like 29, 30K. So if we break through this, we'll be at 30K, and then, you know, breaking to 40K could be relatively quick. You know what the beautiful thing right now is? I'm not the biggest TA guy, but I know a few little things to look for. The beautiful thing is when you have a tremendous momentum to the upside, a lot of the indicators, generally speaking, they tell you if Bitcoin is oversold or overbought, right? We're in an overbought situation on a daily scale at least. And even though it's coming down, right? Like, I hope you guys can see it. But you look down here, very bottom. This is showing MACD coming down from a very high level, right? You see RSI still high but coming down. But more importantly, stochastic RSI is close to bottom. And even though these indicators are showing that Bitcoin is leveling out, no longer in a very overbought situation, right? Did Bitcoin's price come down? No, like none, right? That's how you know you're in a momentum run, when you're building momentum, right? In reverse, and we were just in reverse, I mean, for many months, but just over here, you could see, right? Just a little bit of momentum, a little bit of oversold levels, boom, you come down. Obviously, exaggerated by FTX falling and, you know, all the other FUD out there, right? But all the other times before that, you could see major crashes whenever these indicators showed that, oh, okay, Bitcoin's a little bit overbought, maybe just a little overheated, and then it comes down a big way. But we haven't seen that for a long time. We're just consolidating. Over here, you can see it consolidating. Even though the indicators went down a little bit, boom, we just formed another leg up. So right now, we're consolidated again. I have no doubt we're going to break through 24.2. And once we do that, I mean, 30,000 could be right around the corner, right? So we basically wiped out the whole FTX collapse, right? And if we could break out back to 31,000, then we would have, what happened before that? I think Celsius Voyager is what brought us down here, right? I mean, really, it's everything. It was kind of like CryptosCapital, Celsius, Voyager. And before that was Luna, right? Luna was like up here. So honestly, if we get back to 30K, we wipe out all the losses we had from Celsius and Voyager. And then we break to 40K, we wipe out all losses we had from Luna. That would be crazy if it happens in 2 months. But this is why we stay in the game. Because it could happen. Rick, member for 13 months. Wow. Thank you. Love your content. Keep up the great work. Appreciate it. Do you still keep DCA even when your portfolio is green? Yes. Yes, I do. Just like the sample portfolio that I've been building with you guys every Wednesday, right? I was doing it even when Bitcoin was going up. I started that with you guys right around over here. It was like around this time frame, right? Because Bitcoin fell down. A pretty good point to enter, right? DCA'd even when it went up. DCA, 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 right? And ever since then, DCA, 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 right? You just do it. If you plan on being in the game for a very long time, for years and years and years, right? You just take the guessing out of it. There'll be good days. There'll be bad days. There'll be good years. There'll be bad months, mad years, right? You just DCA. But while you're DCAing, it's important to take profit too, right? I think the easiest way is to just make sure you have enough cash on the side. You know, I think 20, 25, 30% of your total portfolio in cash, I think that's a good amount, right? So as things go higher and then you realize, well, your cash pile percentage is decreasing, well, then it's time to cash out and put it on the side for a rainy day, right? That cash pile is important. Tommy, I got my whole Bitcoin in cold storage. Now I'm layering into Tesla as much as possible. Thanks for education. I DCA daily. You're welcome. You're welcome. Tesla has been making a really good run. Today, it went up to 160, right? Kind of like Bitcoin. It found the bottom around 102, and now has come up in a big way, right? You know, sad to see this, but this is due to Tesla. This is due to Tesla. Because the popularity of EVs, the whole industry is moving to pure EV. Toyota is so far behind. I don't know when they're going to come out with their EV lineup, right? All these other cars are manufacturers saying like 2030, 2035. You have some countries that says, you know, manufacturers that be zero commission, not commission, emission. By 2030, you know, that's only 7 years from now. So this is the reason why I'm pretty sure he was forced out. In your opinion, which L will gain institutional adoption? And can you see funds opting for L1 staking rewards instead of government securities? Yes, but there needs to be more regulatory clarity about that, right? Like, do you have to pay taxes on it? Is it considered a security? So all that needs to be resolved before we see like major funds, like pension funds or retirement funds or hedge funds, really claiming rewards. I think there needs to be more clarity on that. Which L1 would gain institutional adoption? It has to be Ethereum at this point. Ethereum is the biggest. There's a lot of institutional adoption already. Companies also working with Ethereum, and some even adding ETH to their balance sheet. What do you think about MicroStrategy and if it will do well short term? Short term, MicroStrategy is tied to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin comes up, MicroStrategy is going to do well. Same thing with Coinbase, right? But if you're debating if you should buy MicroStrategy stock or Bitcoin, Bitcoin all the way. There's no question. Even Michael Saylor will tell you that. Should you buy MicroStrategy or Bitcoin? Bitcoin. What do you think about Mana, Sand, and Audio? Well, Audio is not really in the same realm of Mana and Sand, but Audio was, I think it was just announced they're going to be added on Coinbase soon, so they shot up because of that. But Mana and Sand, I like Sand better. I like Sand better. All right, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Tomorrow's big Friday. I don't know what's happening Friday, but it's Friday. So we'll take that and we'll see. We'll see where the market goes. All right, guys. Andrew, last question. If history repeats, $10 Doge. I don't know about that because the market cap would be crazy. It'll be trillions. So I don't know about that, Andrew. All right, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And like I promised at the beginning of this video, for those of you guys that want to learn a little bit more about Ripple and XRP, here's my educational video. The most educational one you'll ever see in your lifetime.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.